Welcome to the Shellonomics Podcast, your source for pure Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles entertainment, presented by King Midas.
Guys, we are back and ultra hyped to keep going with the Ninja Turtle Archie adventures. We're joined by our good friend Christian from TMNTTALK. Now, Christian, I wanted to ask you, these guys have to have real big confidence in their series because the first series we're going to talk about in this episode deals with April getting her own miniseries, and it was released in January to start off the year.
Yeah, it's like, I'm a big fan of this because you see, by now, after over 40 issues of the TMNT adventures, the universe got so big, there's so many different characters, and we have not seen much of April in the current series, so it's cool that they're like, hey, we need to show the people what April is doing, so we give her her own miniseries, and but it fits so well in the overall tone and the overall story of the comics. So it's like really they had this idea, okay, we have to go more into like this story with April, but it does not fit in the current series. Okay, let's do a miniseries. And hey, that was a pretty smart move there. So yeah, I mean, it was as I said, it was at the start of 1993. So Turtles were still a pretty big thing back then. So hey, they pulled it through and it worked. It seemed to work.
Yeah, it was. They've already reached their peak because 93 is when it slowly gets down and then just rides off into the sunset for a couple years. But yeah, feel free to take it away. Before you get into this, though, I just really enjoy. April's got a lot of swag in this comic that she really didn't have in the cartoon. She was able to crack sarcastic jokes. Yeah, in the first 5 episodes, she took on a couple mousers, but usually it was more like the damsel in distress role. Here, April does not take crap from anybody, not even her boss. And feel free to take it away with these first 3 issues we're covering in this podcast today.
Yeah, so this is the April O'Neil miniseries, and you're totally right with this. It's like April is really... This is her story. She's the main focus of this story, and she really carries it because she became a fighter herself. She was training with the katana, and it really shows she's not taking anything from anyone. So this series, it shows what's up with April because we have not seen much of April lately. Because after the Turtles, they were in Japan, and they had this road trip across the world. But April left Japan and went back to New York, and now we find out what happened to her. And the first thing we find out is that she got fired. She got fired from her reporter job because, well, she was gone for so long and nobody knew what's going on, and so her boss fired her, and but she gets caught in the middle of this gang war between a gang, or the Dogstar gang and the Golden Triangle gang, two street brawler gangs, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna go freelance reporter with her friend from Japan, Oyuki, and she tries to find out what's going on there, and it's really it gets really hairy sometimes, but she is able to pull through and fight her way through it, and she's really a strong character here. Then she finds out that the leader of the Dogstar clan is none other than Shin Khan, the guy that we met when they were back in Japan. And here we get his backstory, how he got turned into a dog man. And it was because he was having a deal with a demon, and for his survival, because there's a story that he was part of the Golden Triangle gang and they tried to kill him, but he made a deal with Noi Taidar, the demon guy, and for this deal he got turned into a dog man, and he has this fight with the leader of the Golden Triangle gang, Johnny Yen, who is like this powerful magic mystic dude, and they have a fight, and April interferes, and in the end April is the one who kicks Shin Khan through a portal into the demon world, and he's never seen again, so that works out for her, and Yeah, that's her story. That's really her story. There are no turtles in this, besides of some photographs or something. But she's doing her own thing, and it totally works. It's a cool story that really connects with the main story of the turtles.
I agree all the way. I like in the first issue, right off the bat, her boss is pissed that she hasn't been around, so he fires her. And she pushes right back, and you see the look of fear in his face. So I really enjoy April being a tough chick. And apparently smoking can save your life because, do you remember that part reading that where she uses her intelligence to kick a cigarette to start the rescue mission?
Yeah. I mean, first it was like, because Uyuki was a smoker, she quit smoking at the end of the story. But at first it got her into trouble because when she was smoking, the bad guys saw her. But later on, it really saved her life because April was kicking the cigarette into this vat of mystic fluid, and it blew up, and that saved her life. So, yeah, does this mean that smoking is a good thing? I would not say that, but it worked in that scene.
Yeah, exactly. And smoking, again, compared to nowadays in 2025, back in the 80s and 90s, it was everywhere. Never me, thanks to the turtles and their, drugs are for dorks, don't even talk to them, or campaigns. I stayed far away from that. So coming up next, we've got another April miniseries. Very interesting that, they almost, I don't want to say shied away from the turtles, but I enjoy why they did this too, because the origin story, it's that was how we left our last podcast here, and it's like, ooh, what's that all about? So it's kind of letting it simmer like a delicious meal. You got to let it cook for a while. So we're going to get right back into April here, and it's really cool, too, because it goes back to the Journal of April O'Neil, and I always like that little journalization part in these issues here.
Yeah, this brings us to the April O'Neil, the May East Saga storyline, which is a wild one, but as you said, the whole diary style comments by April on the story, on her thoughts and everything, that I really liked. I thought it was really, I always like it when they do this with April. It works really good for her. But in the story, there's this mystical island, and April, the turtles and Splinter go to this mystical island, and she meets an ancient sorceress there who seems to be an ancestor of her. And well, April starts fighting her because the sorceress is evil, and I'm not joking here, they both turn into giant robots and fight each other as giant robots. I don't know, Power Ranger style, Kaiju style, whatever you want to call it. And, May East, the sorceress, is defeated for now, but she comes back and she wants the knowledge from Splinter's brain because he's such a smart guy. And so she shrinks herself and enters Splinter's brain and possesses him. So the turtles and April, they shrink themselves too, go into Splinter's brain. This is one of the wildest stories,
dude,
ever in the Turtles universe, dude, I gotta say.
Page 22, if you guys read this in issue 22, that is probably, I was freaked out when, as a kid, remember the Splinter No More, where he was like half human, half rat when he was slowly getting back? I was freaked out by that. This one takes the cake, and on page 22, that was a scary Splinter, man.
Yeah, when he got possessed and was screaming around with a wide mouth open. Yes. Creepy imaginary there. And so, the turtles and April follow her into Splinter's body. It's so weird. And they fight May East in Splinter's brain, and they are able to kick her out of Splinter's brain. And May East then, runs off, is like, fight, I will come back to fight another day. But first off, she never comes back. That's the last we see of her. And second, as I said, this is a weird story. It is a weird story. The art is also kind of different, I gotta say. But one funny thing, one little trivia there, is that in a later issue of the TMNT Comics, in the TMNT special, they retcon this story, because April tells the turtles that, whoa, I had the wildest nightmare. Yeah, I was meeting this sorceress and I was turning into a robot. Can you believe this? So it got retconned into a nightmare that April was having. So I don't know. It's like in the end, it's like the people who made these comics were not very fond of it in the end. I don't know. But yeah, it's wild. It's really wild. But hey, check it out and see for yourself.
Yeah, this was very wild. That probably is the word to describe it. And coming up next will be Donatello and Leatherhead, which is a lot watered down compared to the intensity of this. I mean, the name of the issue number 2 in that miniseries you just covered, Splinter's brain. And just like, what? Like, where is this going? Just very, very wild. Quite entertaining, like you say, with the giant robots and trying to find a long-lost ancestor. Like, I wasn't really sure where it was going, but just like the one you're about to read, break down, the 3-parter of Donatello and Leatherhead, I couldn't put it down. I just blazed right through it. And this Donnie Leatherhead, I never ever thought this would be a team. It works. I like it's a nonstop action adventure. You can't really compare it to Toy Story, but you usually follow my analogies. If you remember, like in Toy Stories, like 2 and 3 and even 1, where they're getting those chases, it's like they're just about to complete their quest, and then oh my God, there's another turn. You know, whether they're going, like, they're free. Oh, now the garbage can's attacking us. Wait, now we're free. Oh, now this is attacking us. So that's kind of how I felt when I was reading the Donatello Leatherhead series here.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And to this day, I still don't know, why was there a Donatello and Leatherhead team-up miniseries? It's not like they are, like... so good friends or anything. I mean, it works. As you said, it's a fun story. The art is very cartoony, but it's entertaining. But I don't know why they made Donatello and Leatherhead team up. It's not like they have like this connectivity or anything. But as you said, it's fun. It's cool. And well, in this story, Donatello and Leatherhead, they're just hanging out when they get more or less kidnapped by a spaceship, and they get brought down into the hollow earth because there's a world inside our world. And to be honest, this world building I really like. And there they have some wild adventures. It's it's mostly like they want to get back to their world. They want to get back to the real world. They try to find a way, and they have all this crazy adventures, like from one thing to another. They run into like a weird tribe that wants to sacrifice them to some creatures. They run into dinosaurs. They run into mammoths. They meet some giant sea turtles, some giant alligators. They run into Amazon warriors. And in the end, they even find out that the ones who like brought them here are Atlanteans. So this is what I really like about the story, is that like it brings all of this people from different eras together here, and it's really a cool world building, I gotta say. I really like this hollow earth. And well, in the end, they're like, hey, you can work together, don't have to fight each other, and then everything will be fine here in Hollow Earth. And then Donnie and Leatherhead get brought back to their world. So overall, it's just a fun adventure story. And yeah, as I said, the art is very cartoony, but it totally works. It's very entertaining. It's just a fun little adventure. If you're not reading this miniseries, you're just reading the regular TMNT stories in adventures, you're not feeling like you're missing something. But in itself, it's just one entertaining read. It's just so funny. It's so cool. And I really like the dynamic between Donnie and Leatherhead. So just one cool Adventure Time story. I'm there for it. It's fine.
Yeah, just a regular random team up. And again, that's how the writers were. They were probably just thinking, what could we do differently that hasn't been done before? Where can we go where no comic of the Turtleverse is gone? And they went there, and fantastic writing. And this is one of my favorite lines I had to write here, with Leatherhead being the one who delivered it, because they kept trying to get Donnie and Leatherhead to help. And Leatherhead's almost like, enough. We're through proving how worthy we are to save your people. It's your turn to prove you're worth the trouble. I mean, don't you get chills with some of these lines in these comics?
Yeah, it's totally cool, as you said. I mean, there's one thing I remember is the one thing when they get attacked by this giant alligator, and Leatherhead is the one who stands before me like, "Hey, dude, we're the same here. Chill and go away." And the alligator just swims away. It's like, "Okay, dude, I'm done here." This was a very cool scene. It's not like one big fight scene. It's not. No, Leatherhead just stands up and says, "No, it's enough. Go away. We have enough trouble already." And that's the end. That's just cool.
Oh yeah, and the little guy who I guess came from Earth and wanted to go back and like, you can stay here. It'll be okay. So that pretty much brings us up for that. We've got another. I mean, they were just popping the miniseries left and right, and I'm pretty sure you love these as much as I do. We've been talking about on all these other previous episodes here on Shellonomics. You can find on YouTube and Spotify. This is something we really wanted. At least I craved as a child for the Ninja Turtles series. I mean, after Turtles on the cartoons, we got Power Rangers, and they at least had all those cool two-parters like Island of Illusion, the Green Ranger miniseries. White Ranger Trouble, the Wild West Rangers. We didn't really get too many two-parter and three-parters, but we got it here, and we have another one where it's like, hey, why not? We're on a roll. We've got April rocking, we've got Donatello and Leatherhead. Why not Murdude? He's going to go on some adventures with some friends that we know. Another huge popular villain, in my opinion, that is in a video game, which we talked about last time, makes his return. And how did you like the, feel free to share what happens and then share your chemistry here with Mikey and Murdude in part one of the three-parter.
Yeah, this Murdude miniseries is a special one because it, like in every issue, Murdude teams up with another turtle, and it's totally cool because we don't know that much about Murdude yet, but we're gonna find out. And the first issue, as I said, is Murdude and Michelangelo, and it's cool because Murdude and Mikey, they're just hanging out under the sea, and as you said, there's a comeback here because remember Armagon? He got stuck in a faraway future and he wants to go back to present time. So he, by accident, is able to contact a spaceship that's flying by, some aliens that are flying by, and he, takes over the ship, takes them over, and he wants to use them to, create a time portal. And they even have, some kind of time portal, but it's too small to fit through. But he, sends some kind of probe through that awakens a gigantic creature called Nauticus, the Kraken, and it destroys everything, and it's really this giant Cthulhu-style creature. And Mikey and Murdude, they are teaming up to fight it, and in the end, Mikey almost gets killed by this guy because he grabs Mikey and he sucks him out his life power, and Murdude is able to save him, and in the end he puts the Kraken to sleep with some kind of plant, with some kind of undersea plant that has some magical powers. And well, that's the end of that story. So Armagon was not able to get his revenge yet, and Mikey and Murdude were able to defeat a giant underwater creature. So yeah, that's a pretty cool team up.
Yeah, very nice. I thought when I read the first one, I was like, is this going to be maybe what they're trying to do with each turtle teaming up with a Mutanimal? Because, you had Donnie and Leatherhead. Maybe it's Mikey and Murdude for all three. Just one off, but you do have some funny spots here again, too, with the writing. Mikey comes back to life, and his first two words are happy birthday. Shout out to good old classic Frosty the Snowman. That's where that, I'm pretty sure, came from, because that's what he says when he comes to life with that magical hat. Mondo Gecko looked fantastic in this, and we get a new character, Candy Fine, also in this three-parter. As you go to take us in number 2.
Yeah, which is the crossover between Murdude and Mondo Gecko, where they team up. Because a mermaid and Mondo Gecko's ex-girlfriend Candy Fine get kidnapped by an undersea pirate group led by the Merc Mariner, who is this Darth Vader wannabe guy. who is just one of the funniest gimmicks ever, because he's got this mask on him and nobody ever understands anything that he says, because it's like nobody knows what he means, and he's totally a joke, honestly, because Murdude and Mondo Gecko, they want to save the mermaid and Candy, but in the end, Candy is the one who beats up Merc Marina and, well, pretty much saves herself. Hey, girl power, I'm all for it. And yeah, that's pretty much that story. It's just fun. It's just cool. But in the end, a time portal opens and out steps Armagon. He's back from the future and he wants revenge.
Yep, and they have some really fun spots here just to keep you, their selling point was, you don't want to miss the next, issue. It'll make you curl your toes. That's the first and only time I've heard that, but I did start to curl my toes after I read that, because I guess it's an all-age comic, so I didn't want to say anything too crazy, but we will get into some craziness coming up, some real shockers. I understand what you mean by how dark this gets. Meanwhile, Armagon's trying to get closer and closer, but as we get into number 3, I just want to say, again, the passion behind this series is off the hook. You can just feel the passion page by page.
Yeah.
These backstories are made with so much effort. They are very patient with every issue here, too, if you guys ever do check these out. They don't just, again, these are all age, so yeah, sometimes with kids, we have short attention spans. Ooh, pretty bird, and we wander away, but they're like, no, we're going to make sure you guys understand where these guys are coming from, what their origins are, some backstories, just so you can empathize and understand and appreciate all these characters. And feel free to take it away. To me, this felt like a Marvel mashup here, where it's just like two, big behemoths going at each other. You don't know why until you have to read why. But also, too, real quick, you do get a Stan Lee True Believer line in this one too. I wanted to make sure we mention.
Okay, yeah, that brings us to the final Murdude issue, which is Murdude versus Ray Fillet, because the others were Murdude and Michelangelo, Murdude and Mondo Gecko, but now we have versus Ray Fillet. And yeah, that's pretty much the story, is that some kind of evil alien worm gets transported to Earth and lands on Ray Fillet's neck and is able to control him, and he makes him totally aggressive. And the main part of the story is that Murdude and Man Ray, they are fighting each other for hours and hours. But we also get the backstory of Murdude, how he came to be. That he was 5,000 years ago. He was a normal boy, and he got transformed by some alien mutagen that landed in the ocean, and he became Murdude. So he's 5,000 years old, and so does this mean that every mutant gets that old? And maybe Murdude can be even the first mutant ever. So it's, once again, I really like where they're going with this, all the word building, okay, this information that we get, ooh, what does this mean? Does mutagen make you immortal? We don't know. But yeah, Murdude and Ray Fillet, they are fighting each other. And then Armagon even comes in after the fight is over, and the worm gets defeated. But then Armagon comes in, but during this craziness, his stuff, the time travel stuff on him, gets destroyed, and he gets zapped through time portal to places unknown in a time unknown, and he does not get any of his revenge. He's just zapped through time, and we don't see him again. So yeah, would have loved to see more of Armagon there, to be honest, because I just love the Crazy Shark. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of that story, and pretty much the end of Armagon for now.
Yeah, and that's the end of the Ninja Turtles vacation in the comic book realms. We finally get into issue number 45 with the new origin story. We get to find out Splinter had a rat, which I'm sure Christian will mention. And actually, what's interesting here, too, is the Turtles actually chose their weapons. And feel free to take it away with a little bit darker origin story for Splinter as to how he got banished, too.
Yeah, issue 45 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures is pretty much how should I put it, origins recap story, because Splinter remembers his time. Okay, how did we get here? What happened before? It's like a recap of everything. Of Splinter's life, pretty much, how he was born as Hamato Yoshi. Because if you remember, these comics, they are practically based on the same origin story as the classic cartoon. But here, like, they expand it, and they even retcon some stuff, because like we see all the stuff that we learned over the last 45 issues, like when Splinter was in Hiroshima, and how he was in the Foot Clan, and yes, he had a bad rat, and and even his rivalry with Orokusaki, and when he went to the Charlie Lama for training. And if you remember, in the classic cartoon, Splinter, Hamato Yoshi, got thrown out of the Foot Clan because people thought that he would attack the great master. But here it's actually Orokusaki, aka the Shredder, has killed someone and framed Hamato Yoshi for the murder. Yep, we got real murder here. And that's why he gets thrown out of the Foot Clan, and the rest is, as we know, the Foot Clan became evil under Shredder's leadership, and the Turtles and Splinter have to fight him and the Foot Clan. But it's like Splinter says, it's like, okay, who knows what new adventures will await us and what will happen next. We don't know, but we will fight it, we will stand it. And in the end, we find out that it's actually this day. It's actually Splinter's birthday. And they, Turtles and Ninjara, they have a surprise party for him, and then they party, and that's the end of that story. And Splinter is happy because he has his family with him, and happy ending there.
Yeah, like it's good. It's nice to see the Foot Clan too. Interesting too, where they said that Saki was a former student of Splinter in there. I was like, wait a second. Which story do you like better? Do you like Shredder being a student, or do you like it where they're more even keel in the cartoon? Which story do you prefer?
It's both can be pretty interesting, but I think the main one for me is more when they are like both. They're equals. Yeah. They're on the same side, because it's such an interesting dynamic there, because they both learn the same thing. They both are members of the Foot Clan, but they go in totally different directions. It's like, who knows where life will take you, and it's like there's just an interesting dynamic there. But it's also interesting when Saki can be like a student of Hamato Yoshi. So that would make like Saki, how should I put it? It's like it makes him angry. It's like, I should be the leader of the Foot Clan. And so both can work. But if I have to decide, I think it's more interesting when they are equal students of the Foot Clan.
Yep. No, I agree too. It just makes for a more enjoyable rival, especially when it's like, ooh, here they go, face to face. So, coming up next, we still have a long list of slices of TMNT comic pizza to bring you guys. We've got issue 46 coming up with, in this one, I just wanted to say you can feel the hug and the power of forgiveness in this one.
Yeah, issue is called Fox Hunt, and there we meet Ninjara's brother called Naga, who comes to New York and asks the Turtles and Ninjara for help. And but then, like, a mysterious creature appears in New York, and the Turtles have to take care of that. So Raphael is the only one who goes to Japan with Ninjara, who we also find out her real name is actually Umiko, which I also thought was interesting. So they go to Japan because a hunter appeared on the hidden island of the Fox people, and he kidnapped their grandmother. And so Raphael is helping Ninjara and Naga to get her back. But it turns out that it was a trick, because the hunter said that he will give the grandmother back if he brings him a mutant turtle. But in the end, like, they all work together to free the grandmother, and to escape the hunter, they have to go through a Tory that leads them into the demon world, where there's like this demon lady waiting for them. And then they have to go through another Tory to go back to the real world. But to go there, they have to like leave all their evil feelings behind, and they all can do it except for the hunter, who falls to his death. So yeah, in the end, that works out. Grandmother is rescued, and Rev is hanging out with Ninjara. So yeah, it's once again a good little story.
Yeah, and you get to understand why people do what they do. Sometimes you can't judge too fast, everybody. It's a good life lesson in this one too. Cannot jump the gun. You gotta you don't understand the full story sometimes, and once again you get rewarded for being patient and reading the whole issue instead of jumping to conclusions, which is what I like. It's almost like a good mystery, a lot of these issues. So coming up next, I believe we're getting closer to another trilogy, if I'm not mistaken, with a black hole and one of our So feel free to take it away as long as you'd like. And I just want to say just a quick little fun here again, because I love Turtles because they do make me laugh. It's not hard to do, but there is some jokes where it's just like, it's a cringe joke. But the writing is so good, especially because in this one, Donnie will answer the phone and say, Commissioner Gordon? So they just have, and they do it well timed too. It's not overdone where it's like it's force fed, you know? How do you like the comedy in these issues as a whole?
Oh, it totally works. It's not like, as you know, in the classic cartoon, which leaned very heavy into the comedy and the slapstick stuff. But here it's not like totally serious. It's not like Batman or anything. It's still fun, and they have some good humor and some good jokes, and but it's always like sprinkled in. So it's always fun between the more serious stuff and the action. So. Yeah, it's just so good, so well balanced, I gotta say.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what a good movie does. You know, you usually a good movie gives you a little of everything: splash of drama, splash of comedy, splash of action, and a little bit more. You gotta at least try to touch all those bases to make the perfect, issues, perfect film. So feel free to take it away with this trilogy. And Leonardo cuts an arm. What?
Yeah, but
comes up later.
It starts with issue number 47, which is the Eyes of Sarnoff, where we find out that this mysterious creature in New York is actually Sarnoff. We have heard that name before, and this is what I love about this comics, because they come back to like the stories that started it all, when they were still adapting the classic cartoon stories, where they had the Eyes of Sarnoff storyline. And in the cartoon, we never found out more. Like, there was this alien, it had its crystals, that's it. But here we find out that these were actually eyes of a robotic creature called Sarnoff, because there were these aliens, and they created these robotic creatures as pretty much as slaves, but then they rebelled, and the aliens fled. But the master of Sarnoff took his eyes, his 3 eyes, and then he left, and he stranded on Earth, where we know he died actually. And now Sarnoff came to Earth to look for his eyes. He found one, but the others, as we remember, they were brought to the future, so they are pretty much lost. And as you said, like, there's this one scene, there's a fight scene, and Leonardo cuts off one of Sarnoff's arms, but as he's a robot, he can put it back on. And there's one interesting scene here, because Sarnoff has like this dog dinosaur creature with him, who's like his seeing eye dog, and but it gets captured and by a reporter, and the turtles and Sarnoff, they try to get it back, but they get caught. The turtles, they get caught on camera for just a moment, but that's enough to, hey, what are these? Mutant creatures? So the turtle are like, okay, I think we have to lie low for a while. So Sarnoff is the one who's like, hey, okay, I wanted to go to Dimension X, so wanna come with me for a while? And Turtle's like, okay, let's go. So they pick up Raph and Ninjara in Japan, and they go on, as you said, a big adventure, a 3-parter in Dimension X. Because, like the Turtles, they also want to find out what happened to Cuddly. If you remember last time, when we saw Cuddly, he had to leave because he got a distress signal. Something was going on in Dimension X. So let's find out what's going on in Dimension X in the next 3-parter.
Yeah, which is going to be very, very crazy. But again, it's patient storytelling. And I actually, before we get into that real quick, Christian, you read a lot more comics than I do. In this series, I've noticed, I'm not sure if it happened in the real comics or just the re-releases in those 2016, novels. There's a lot of little chapters in those. Does that happen a lot? Because we're going to talk about a big thing too, the Mega Death, which was almost like a bonus in a lot of comics. So, do other comic series offer these little chapter breakdowns and extras?
Yeah, with later issues, they did this a lot. They had those little chapters, and also, as you said here, with the Megadeth mini story, that's a backup story in these comics. They, now with the later issues, with the later half of the TMNT adventures, they did this a lot. Not so sure why they did this, but it's cool. It works, and yeah. The backup stories, they can also be very important.
Okay, yeah, which especially one that we'll definitely get into probably after we get up to issue 54. But yeah, feel free to take it away with this Black Hole trilogy here.
Oh yeah, I remember that this story. It's like Turtles in space, and it's I gotta say it's one of my favorites because it gets really interesting. So the Turtles, they go to Dimension X, and there is a big problem because there is a black hole in the middle of Dimension X, and it's growing and growing and causing chaos in Dimension X. So all these characters, Cuddly, Stomp, Sling, and all the characters we know in Dimension X, they want to try to find a way to, stop it. All the while, there's this bad guy, Masul, who pretty much uses this situation to cause chaos. He's like an evil emperor, and so we also meet the Nova Posse in this story, who is like this pretty much Guardians of the Galaxy style group, and they help the Turtles during all this craziness. Donatello gets pretty much kidnapped by the Sons of Silence, these alien creatures that were working together with Krang long ago. We have not seen them for a while, but here they are. They take Donatello with them and bring him to the other side of the dark hole, the black hole. And there is also the Turnstone, who was supposed to be destroyed, vanished into nothingness. So this is the other side of the black hole is like nothingness. It's just so wild. And Sarnoff also falls into the black hole and lands where Donatello is. Donatello gets pretty much possessed by the Turnstone because he is able to use it. Because there's one scene where just a pilot sees the Turnstone, runs up to it, wants to grab it, and he gets disintegrated. Pretty cruel there. And yeah, but Donatello is able to hold it and use it, but he gets possessed by it because when he holds the Turnstone, he becomes omnipotent. He knows everything. He sees everything. And this is what I mean. It's just to think about this stuff, it's so interesting. And so while outside in Dimension X, everyone has this Star Wars style big battles with spaceships and everything. in there is Donatello. He is becoming mad with power, and Sarnoff wants to stop him. And because of the usage of the turnstone, the black hole grows bigger and bigger, causing chaos. But Sarnoff is able to stop Donatello, sends him back to his brothers, and is able to close the black hole. But for this, he sacrifices himself. He stays behind. And, in the end, Dimension X is saved, but Sarnoff is gone. And, yeah, this is just such a cool Turtles in Space story. I'm a big fan of this. It's like so cool with the turnstone and everything, all these callbacks to earlier adventures. Big fan of that story.
Did you ever have a friend or a relative push you in the back, just like a playful joke, like you didn't see him and it kind of like jump scares you? Like,
oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, because that's the picture I want to paint for those who have not read this trilogy. You go to issue 50 here. What are the first few words you read? Kill them all. Where do you ever get that in a Turtle comic? I was like wow, this is how we're going to start issue 50, the end of the trilogy. So fantastic writing once again, and thank you for covering these. And again, it's just so much fun chatting with you once a week, just sharing our love for Turtles. We've got so many more to cover. And now we got another guy coming back. I want to say the return of these characters too is just so well timed, and it was never, it never, to me so far, just reading this for the first time, it never felt annoying. It always felt very well timed, especially with issue 51 here.
Yeah, so the next few issues, they're like a lot of callbacks, a lot of comebacks of characters, starting with issue 51, where we meet Chameleon again. Once again, haven't seen that one in a while. And so he got more used to his powers, and he's not only able to change his colors like a chameleon, but he's also able to change his form to transform into other people or just some or other stuff and things like that. And yeah, but he's still this agent spy guy, and he hears about the Turtles in New York, and he wants to confront the Turtles because he remembers them from way back then, because he wants to find out a way to undo his mutation. He wants to be like a normal human again. So he lures the turtles into a trap, and they have a little fight. But the Turtles then tell him, hey, we don't have to fight, but there's no known way to become human again. And so the chameleon accepts that and, leaves to live his life as a chameleon, to live his life as this spy who that can turn into pretty much everything, which is, in my opinion, a good thing for a spy because he can hide everywhere and as everyone. So yeah, that's a nice little second story with the chameleon there.
I like that one a lot just because I did have his Chameleon book, codenamed Chameleon as a child, the storybook adventures, the ones that were little short stories made for kids, and was fun reading this issue. You got a little rockin' sockin' robot battle going on with the Turtles too, so it's always nice to see current pop culture in there. And again, you hear me all the time bragging about my boy Mikey. He fights his way out of the trap. I did have that in my notes earlier. Just all the Turtles, we've said it before, are very competent in here. There is no, oh, what are we supposed to do here, guys? They're just very, down to earth. They know how to solve problems, and it's. I would say this would have been more of an inspiration for kids, I think, to read the comic than the cartoon had Splinter for the lessons, but the Turtles here are giving you good lessons as well. So, coming up next, I just wrote TMNT Talk right here. Anytime I see creepy or scary, your name pops up right away. It's a good thing.
yeah, it's the gross monster issue, with issue number 52, where the Turtles, they're investigating because there was some robberies, someone was stealing gold, and the Turtles try to find out who it was, and it turns out to be an alien thief who looks like a spider, called Toxim. And during all this, they also run into none other than Scumbag and Worm. So they are still out there. Remember last time they were supposed to been blown up, but no, they are back. They pretty much chaos. So this is like a big monster issue. Like we have this Toxeme, and we have Worm, we have Scumbag, big fight. Everyone is pretty much fighting everyone, and. But in the end, Toxeme is the one, because he has this gun that can turn anyone into crystals, and he shoots at Worm and Scumbag and transforms them into like crystal statues, and then he blasts off with his spaceship and is gone. And well, in the end, Scumbag and Worm they shatter. So I guess they are gone now. And all the while, there's this reporter dude, McIntyre, who wants to find out more about the turtles that he saw on camera, and he's also causing chaos for the turtles. But for now, they are able to destroy his camera, and that's pretty much the end of that story.
Oh, yeah. Another one of my favorite lines here. Raphael, cute name. Remind me to carve it on your tombstone. Just these crazy lines that would just be awesome in like a WWE like promo talk. So they just really good, fresh.
Badass.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, gosh. Coming up next, we've got, before we get into the story here, just some funny lines here in this one. Do they do this in the current product, Christian? Do you ever see anybody wearing an Elvis Lives t-shirt? I was laughing so hard seeing Splinter with an Elvis Lives shirt in this one coming up.
No, I think that's a 90s thing.
Oh God! And then April trying to understand where I know it's probably hard sometimes to recollect everything because again this is just built into your memory banks. But in this one where April being a Yankees fan, that's fine, no problem there. But when she's trying to ask how much money, the guy goes 20, 30. He like changes the price right on the fly too. So again, comedy is really well timed here. And feel free to break down issue 53 for us.
Yeah, this is pretty much another two-parter, issue 53 and 54, which is called the Animus War. And here the turtles with April, they go to Jerusalem because April has to cover a story there, and they get caught in the middle of like this craziness going on there because people get really aggressive and there's a mob and they're fighting in the streets, and it turns out that behind all this is a creature called Animus, and there's like this cult behind it. It's influencing all these people, and also in the middle of all this are none other than Kathmandu and Alfalfa, the tiger and the falcon guy that the turtles met before. They are also under the control of Animus. So the turtles, they try to stop it together with a young woman who can transform into a superhero persona called Golani, who's like this blue energy powered up creature. And but during all this, the crazy stuff once again is that during all this fighting, Mikey gets caught in a Molotov cocktail attack, and this blinds him. He cannot see anything for now, and but the other turtles, they team up with Kathmandu and Alfalfa to stop Animus, which in the end they're able because they beat up this cult guys, and with no one to follow him, Animus loses his powers and it become like a little tiny action figure style creature, and the turtles imprison him in a snow globe, and that's the end for Animus.
Yeah, coming up, exactly. Coming up is Christmas, so 'tis the season. It reminded me of obviously these guys did it first, the Power Rangers movie when Ivan Ooze turns Zed and Rita in the snow globe. You remember that spot in the old Power Rangers movie, Mighty Morphin?
Yeah. It reminds me of something. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Oh boy, well, I think before we get into this next three-parter, I believe, the Terra side, we're going to have to take a little break here because there is what Christian and I were talking about, these extra little, almost like deleted scenes or bonus scenes, and feel free to explain what in the world happens in Megadeth. We're not talking about the band. We're literally talking about Megadeth, where this is going to hurt you in all the feels. At least it did for me.
Oh boy, yeah. Megadeth was this 7-parter backup story, which went from issue 48 to issue 54. And this is a Mutanimals story, and we find out what's going on with the mighty Mutanimals, and pretty much is like they are getting ready to. Yeah, after their own series that ended with issue number 9, they're like, okay, we're gonna become better heroes, and we build our own base, and with the help of Future Rev and Future Dawn, by the way, they're helping to build their own superhero base. But then they get attacked by a group called the Gang of Four, who are this cyborg robotic creatures who are like Punisher style creatures who start attacking the Mutanimals, and at first they are able to fight them off, but then even Skull and Bean, the two alien guys from Maligna, they appear and they also attack the Mutanimals. Once again, big fight. But they are able to, the Mutanimals are able to stop the Skull and Bean, but then out of nowhere, the Gang of Four reappears, jumps at the Mutanimals, and starts shooting at them, and with machine guns and rocket launchers and everything, and the Mutanimals don't stand a chance, and then they are gone, and Future Rev and Future Dawn come back like, hey, we are back to help you. But the Mutanimals are dead. They are really gone. They are dead. And it's also interesting because Future Dawn is the one who's like, hey, this is not supposed to happen. Someone is tinkering with the timelines here. But the Mutanimals, they are really gone. No kidding there. And yeah, as you said, big shocker. Like, did not expect that one. But that's a fact. It feels like with the later issues, they were like, hey, we are now in 94. You know, Turtle Mania is starting to die down. So we're gonna throw everything that we can and that we are allowed to in this comics, because we don't know how much longer we can keep this up. So we just go crazy and we do shocking stuff with death and everything. And yeah, this was very shocking the first time I read that, because I totally did not expect the Mutanimals to die, but that's a fact.
Yeah, all of them too. It's not like, you're watching cartoons or James Bond in an action film. Dodging. Nope, they're all just gone. It's like, no, we're not just going to kill Wingnut or Leatherhead or Jaguar. It's like, nope, just all gone. And I read that pay, I'm just like, they're not getting up. They're really gone. So yeah, very. We had to make sure we brought that up because some people may miss that, and I feel it's to me that's canon because they do mention it in like other issues, but I wanted to make sure we covered that. Before we get into our next miniseries, they just keep rolling with the miniseries, and I say, bring them on. Like you always say, I'm there for it.
Yeah, the 3-parter is called Terracide, and yeah, it takes off where the Mutanimals story ended, the Megadeth story. And first off, we see the Turtles. They are coming back from Jerusalem. They are on a plane, but the plane gets struck by lightning and it crashes. And most of the Turtles, they are pretty much saved, but Mikey gets caught by the Coast Guard and he gets separated from the other Turtles. But now, like, Future Dawn and Future Rev and the other Turtles, they team up with Slash. By the way, Slash at first he thought he saw that his friends, the Mutanimals, are killed, and he wanted to attack Future Dawn and Future Rev until they're like, hey, this was not us. Then the real bad guys appear, the Gang of Four, and they have a big battle with the Turtles and Slash. And yeah, we also find out that who is behind this attack? None other than Null. Null is back, and there's a big fight there. And yeah, Null then kidnaps Candy because she was there. She was the ones like, hey, I saw who killed the Mutanimals. And so the turtles, they like split up. It's Leo and Don, they go to save Mikey, while the others fly to none other than Maligna's home world, which was hiding on dark side of the moon. And so, yeah, Null and Maligna, they were teamed up again. So they have a big battle in Maligna's homeworld with the Malignoids, and Candy gets rescued. And in the end, the Maligna hive world gets destroyed. It falls into the sun because Slash stays back to fight off the Malignoids and destroys like this gravity control device in the spaceship so that it gets destroyed, and the Maligna and the Malignoids can never hurt anyone. But Slash sacrifices himself, and once again, wow, just crazy what's going on there. But yeah, that's the end of the Terracite 3-parter. But yeah, you see, there's not like the end of the story. It's like, okay, this is the end of that chapter. But there are still some things that we have to talk about in this series. But yeah, that's the end of Terracite for now.
Yep, just everybody keeps going. Just gone. Just they're just dropping like flies now, man. I'm getting worried about our buddies because Michelangelo right now is blind. So are they going to kill a turtle? We don't know. I don't. This is my first time reading this, and again, it's a whole different turtle atmosphere. I hope to God they don't kill him, but I do know that some nasty stuff happens to our pizza loving party dude coming up. But first, we get a nice little, maybe a little break in the action because we're going to learn how the turtles got their colors in our next issue here.
That's right. TMNT Adventures number 58. As Michelangelo is imprisoned and, as you said, still blind, he like his mind drifts off and he remembers when the turtles, they were still little kids. And we see that the turtles, when they were little kids, all of them were wearing red bandanas. Nice little callback there. And Splinter often could not tell them apart. And turtles, they used this for their own advantage. Like when Splinter was giving them tests, and like one of the turtles was better prepared for the test. So it's like, I don't know, Michelangelo is like, okay, I'm doing the test now. And then he went back and said, hi, I'm Donatello, and he's doing the same test. So yeah, it just funny little stories like when twins, they like switch seats in classroom or anything. And all the while, there's like also this story where the little turtles, they run into some 3 bad guys who have stolen some kind of microchip. And the turtles, with their ninja training, they're able to stop these bad guys also by using this, like, that they look similar, that they look like a quartet of one on the same turtle. They're like, oh, I'm everywhere, and that drove the robbers crazy. And so they were able to defeat them. But Splinter in the end is like, okay, you did good, but I saw through what you did there, like posing for another one. And then Splinter decided, okay, we have to find a way to so I can tell you all apart. And at first, Mikey remembers that they were using a different colored baseball caps. But later on, of course, they went to the bandanas and the belts with the with their letters on them. So yeah, that's nice little backstory to find out how these turtles got their favorite colors.
Yeah, it was a nice little break in the action, and this is the first time this happened. Again, I read the IDW, the first few, where they got like the leadership and all that, which was great. I didn't know this little things existed. So technically, I believe this is the first origin of the colored bandanas, right?
I mean, because of course.
Okay, yeah, I remember the cartoon didn't mention. They just threw them on there and just said, "Hey, go for it." So, absolutely. Man. Here comes, good God, this is just, this was painful to see for a Mikey fan here, with Mikey being a property of somebody else in a two-parter here, Blind Sight. We're going to read Mike's All Bloody. Bloody? I was just, what in the world? But hopefully there's a happy ending for this little part here, Christian, hopefully.
Yeah, that's really a tough one because, we see how Mikey was imprisoned by the government, and there was this doctor who was running some tests on him and was torturing him. And as you said, do you remember when this comic started as kids comics? This is not for kids, because it's not like we see him pulling teeth out of his mouth or anything, but we see all these instruments and they are bloody and so on and so forth. You can only imagine what Michelangelo went through. But we also see that how the other turtles were able to find him and rescue him. And there's this one very interesting moment when this doctor who was torturing Mikey falls off the boat, falls into the water, and he can't swim. And Mikey, who was tortured by him and still blind, jumps into the water to save him. And that's the good part, because we see the framing of this story is that April was on this TV show where this other reporter guy, McIntyre, who wanted to show the turtles as bad guys, they were showing them this tape of the rescue of Mikey. And so now New York knows about the turtles, but they see that the turtles are not the bad guys, that Mikey saved this guy. And so this is very, very upbeat ending there, because in the end, everybody's cheering for Mikey. It's yeah, cool. And Mikey's cowabunga. It's like a movie star. Just love this moment. It's so, really, after everything that happened in the last few issues, this is really, really a happy ending there. Yeah. And that's Blindside Part 1.
Dude, I was pretty much in tears though, man, when he's like, stop. I mean, I pretty much, tears almost hit the my comic reading it too, just because I never saw that before. It was one thing seeing him kidnapped and tortured with Shredder with the, you're going to get flushed down the toilet on your birthday with little goo. Here, it's no, man, like you said, all the weapons are there, they're stabbing him, they're more testing, and he's trying to tell him, look, I'm a mutant turtle, man, this is who I am. Oh, let's just see about that. And they just kept trying to test, and at the end of the day, Mike still saves him, and I don't think he knew that they were being framed, but he just did it out of the kindness of his heart, and it paid off very well, because yes, the April's, whatever her talk show was oh, this is going to backfire. So, oh my gosh, we have a couple more here left to go, and then we are done with another episode here. Feel free to break us into the next issue coming up.
Yeah, that would be Blindside Part 2, where we find out what happened to the other guys that were fighting on the Maligna's homeworld when they came back to Earth with a spaceship. Well, they also got caught by the U.S. government and brought to Area 51. And we see how they met an alien there, future Donatello met an alien there, and they tried to escape there. Once again, really problematic. Okay, you're prisoners. Are you aliens? Are you mutants? And all this stuff. But yeah, there's this big prison break style where they break out of there, and they get help from none other than Kid Terra, who is nowadays, remember, he was the helper of Null, but nowadays he wants to do good, and he's got this justice fighter group of people to help others and look after the environment and all this stuff. And he helps them to escape from Area 51. And that's pretty much the end of that story. And finally, all the turtles are back together after all this time.
Yeah, exactly. Just, do you have a favorite so far? I know we still have a couple more issues left, but is there a favorite miniseries so far in the ones we've covered today that you like the best? If I had to pick just one, Mikey's my guy, but I really enjoyed that first April so far. The first three there, that's my pick.
Yeah, that's a good one. But in the TMNT Adventures stories, I gotta say, with the three-parter with the Black Hole Dimension X story, this is just, in my opinion, such a cool story, such an overlooked story, which goes really deep and gets even a little bit dark there. But yeah, it's so interesting. Just the whole thing with Donatello getting taken over by the Turnstone, getting this omnipotent creature and getting mad by a power. It's just such an interesting take for Donatello. So I would really say, for the stuff that we read today, that would be it.
Yeah, especially with Donnie grabbing that power. He's like, I feel so strong. That was another one just like, whoa, where is this going? Like you say, is this stuff for kids? Again, it says all ages. And, I guess they just thought that we all grew up really quick. We jumped about, instead of turning, every year we grew 5 years instead of just one. So, oh boy. Well, my dude, we've got a couple more left and then we're out of here. We got, I believe, issue number 60.
61.
Yes. And
that would be.
And that's
right. And after all the stories that we had, this is like a more of a preview issue, because it's like all these characters, they come together now and they hold a funeral for Slash, and then future Leo and future Mike appear, and they'll come through a time portal because Donatello lost his time slip remote and he was not able to open a time portal. But so they came back through a time portal to get them back to the future. Here is also where April meets a young woman from the future who turns out to be her great-granddaughter, which I thought was also pretty cool. Then they're like... they start sharing stories. We also have this Native American man who tells them the story of how Earth was created on the back of a giant turtle, and because the turtles remind him of him. So yeah, that's pretty much like an epilogue to all the craziness that we got. It's like, okay, short little story, no action or no craziness, just some all of these characters coming together and reflect on everything that happened recently. And and also after all this time, Mikey is okay, I'm starting to get his eyesight back, and that's also a very good thing to get Mikey back. So nice ending there for all the craziness that we had in the last few issues. Yep, just an interesting little comic.
Can you explain, I need you to be my subtitles, I was a little confused near the end with that big turtle on the bed. What is that, what's going on there, if you can explain?
Yeah, I think that whole thing is up for interpretation, because the Native American was telling the story. Okay, there's this turtle. On the back of the turtle, there's a beaver and a water beetle, and they created the continents and everything. So they're the big creators. And then we have in the last few pages, we have the turtle getting operated on him because he's feeling sick. And I guess you can say it's this is Mother Nature, and how Mother Nature is not treated well, so she gets sick in a kind of way. And it's really up to interpretation, because it's really, one of the things that you have to check out for yourself, because it's really hard to tell you. As you said, we see this turtle getting operated on by the water beetle and the beaver, and then we see like this big human guy who is like some kind of representation of the creator of everything, like God or anything. And he's like, I've got an itch there. And it's like, okay, so you can think about it like Earth gets hurt, and if we hurt Earth and we're not looking after it very well, then we also hurt, in a way, we hurt God. So, I mean, I could be totally wrong there, but it could be up for interpretation what you can see in this, this ending.
Okay, very good, because me and I'm sure a lot of other new readers are thinking that's like a gigantic algebra problem. A squared equals B squared minus the square root of 5,000. So thank you for breaking that down for me, because I'm like, what am I reading here? So thank you very much for that. That's going to do it here, guys. We already broke down our favorite picks to click for our mini-series here. Loads of them. Still a lot more to come with our next episode next week. But Christian, dude, what a great time it is to be a Turtle fan. I know you're covering a ton of comics in the new realm of Ninja Turtles, aren't you, over there?
Oh, absolutely. On my own podcast, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Talk. And this week, look forward to another English episode where I talk about some very new comics, including the Godzilla crossover, which is totally wild. And so as I always say, if you want to hear more from me, check out my podcast, TMNT The Talk. Check out my website, TMNTTALK.com, where you can find all the stuff, including the social media stuff. So, come over, let me know, send me a comment, write me a comment. I'm always up for talking turtles with everyone. So, hey, check out the podcast. You might like it.
Yeah, check out your podcast and your Discord server. If you guys want, you can check out his server. That's all we do is talk turtles in there. We even have fun with breaking down these issues. I even sent the little Krang. Did you like that spot too, where just out of nowhere they had like the Adam West Batman, like Biff, Boff, and let's just throw Krang in there.
Yeah, that's what it was in the May East saga, when the two giant robots fighting each other. As you said, it's like bang, boom, and suddenly one of the sound words is Krang. Why Krang? It's like, is this like a cameo? I don't know, but it's just so funny. It's special.
Yeah, I guess they just want, like you said, they were done with Krang for the rest of the series, so they wanted his his soul to live on, I guess, in a sound effect world at least. So that's going to do it here, guys, for this episode. We appreciate you stopping by. And like you say, Christian, until next time, thanks for your time and energy, brother.
Oh, I'm always there for it, my dude. Until then, cowabunga.
Another episode of Shellonomics is in the books. If you guys have not yet checked out all of our other amazing episodes, we've had amazing guests. We've talked about the 1987 cartoon, 2003 cartoon, Next Mutation, Coming Out of Their Shells, video games, the comics, crossover comics like Batman and the Power Rangers, and tons of amazing content with you guys, the fans. Be sure to stop by our YouTube channel, Spotify, and Twitch. And if you have somebody who'd like to be on the show, get in touch with us at kingmikedas@gmail.com. That's KINGMIKEDAS@gmail.com.